Alright, last thing I did was put fluids in. Everything seemed nice and works quite well. So now it's working on more little things to get this thing finally ready for off-roading. One of the little things was electrical issues. There's some shake in the steering. The speedometer cable is a little loose. I need to get new tires. But I'm gonna work at the electrical first because that's kind of important. At one part, the vehicle like stalled out, and other times the key cylinder was acting up. So I'll have to look at the key cylinder eventually. But I've heard a lot of times for Renix engines, it's really good to do ground cleanings, and also sometimes just make better grounds in general. So I took both the main cables off the battery. These are for the a trickle charger that I have. So those aren't the main cables. The positive cable runs into this and runs to the starter motor down there somewhere, and the negative cable runs just straight from the negative cable on the battery to that ground right there. And I clean most of those grounds up. So I used some degreaser to get all the crap off. I took them off physically, cleaned them up with sandpaper, made sure that there was bare metal showing on the actual engine side itself, making sure all the wires are in good condition. So that's the main ground. That grounds to the engine. So that is like one of your most important grounds, because that's the only cable coming from the battery. Now you could add other ones. You could go like a negative to like maybe the radiator support or something to ground it even more. Other grounds. This is the second most important ground, from what I've heard at least. This goes from the engine to the body. I don't know. That's probably not where that goes. But I've heard a lot of people say it's okay to just put it right on the heat shield or whatever, but also that this cable in general is just shit. So I'm going to see if I can find these lugs anywhere, because I have some 4-gauge wire, and I'm going to use that from body to engine ground. So that'll help a lot. Another ground we have right here behind the windshield washer fluid. That's another ground. Clean that up real good. I don't know if there's any other grounds. Pretty sure those are the main ones. I've heard that there's one underneath the driver door, like under all the gauges and everything. But anyway, the main problem, my wires. This negative cable right here. See if I can show you that a little better. Some of the insulation was coming off there, some of it coming off here, and a lot of it there. That looks pretty fucking terrible. So that was in really bad shape. The positive cable looks a little eaten up too. The secondary wire looks pretty good, but the regular wire, it's got a bunch of little cracks in it. And I've also had battery drain issues. Now these two cables share the same opening, or not opening. They're wrapped together in the engine bay. So I'm wondering if maybe there was a cut somewhere and they were touching just enough to have a small battery drain, or it's just shorting itself out. So I got new cables. I ordered them online. The negative cable and the positive cable that I ordered are basically exactly the same, and they're both black. So that's a little discomforting. This thing came with a little secondary ground, just like the positive cable, except it's definitely a couple gauges less, or more, I guess, since they go backwards. And I'm pretty sure the secondary positive cable runs the rest of the accessories on the Jeep, so I don't know if I'm going to install that positive cable with such a small cable on it. But yeah, I'm going to put that negative cable on, because the old negative cable definitely needs to be replaced. And I'll show you what the negative cable looks like. I chose this one because it was longer. I have it run underneath everything into the engine. So there we go, we got a wonderful ground again. So I guess I'm going to throw this positive cable back on. Okay, so, where did I last leave off? Negative cable is installed, and I used the new positive cable too that came I just fucked around with a little bit. I didn't use the tiny one they gave me. I cut the old one off, put a new connector on there, and connected it to there, so that goes to the starting solenoid now. And since they're both black, I put red tape on the positive one. I didn't have enough to go all the way down, but that goes down to the starter, and the negative one goes there. So I have new battery cables now. Starts up pretty nicely, and I improved this ground over here. Nice thick cable now, 4-gauge wire, got a connector that goes to there, and I just ran it to the fuel rail because that's where it wanted to sit. So there, better body to engine ground. All the contacts were sanded and cleaned, so hopefully this thing will have a lot better electrics now. So there shouldn't be much to do. Whee!